Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 9 and we would like to present about the environmental
My
audit.
name is Muhammad Shafi Azim bin Zulkifli. Today we are going to present about environmental audit. I'm going to start with the definition of environmental audit. According to a book written by Department of Environmental Affairs, it states that environmental auditing is a process whereby the environmental performance of an organization is tested against its environmental policies and goals. Other than that, the International Chamber of Commerce defined environmental auditing as a management of tool comprising a systematic, documented, periodic, and objective evaluation of how well environmental organization, management, and equipment are performing with the aim of contributing to safeguarding the environment by facilitating management control of environmental practice and assessing compliance with company policy, which would include meeting regulatory requirements. Environmental audit is a process by which the environmental impact of the operation of a business can be defined, and the main objective of the exercise is to assist maintain the monitoring of such impact and subsequently to protect the environment. Environmental audit can be defined as a periodic, systematic, documented, and objective evaluation to determine the compliance status to environmental regulatory requirement, the environmental management system, and the overall environmental risk of the premise. Next, I'm going to talk about requirement to conduct environmental audit. The primary type of environmental audit that will be required by Department of Environment of Malaysia or DOE is a regulatory compliance type audit. A regulatory compliance type audit investigate the organization's intent to manage its environmental issue for compliance to the regulation. The main objective of the compliance type environmental audit is to identify conditions that are out of compliance and for bringing the condition back into compliance as soon as practicable. The audit seeks to set the organization on path to sustainable practice in which resources are utilized efficiently and waste and pollution are correspondingly reduced. Requirement for environmental audit will be done through notification from DOE to the organization. It should be noted that those organizations which are already required conduct environmental audit as a condition of approval for the environmental impact assessment or as condition of license must continue to conduct the environmental audit without waiting for notification from the DOE. Next, I'm going to talk. The compliance audit generally has the following objective. The first one is as a tool to assess compliance with environmental legislation. The compliance audit also used to improve environmental performance through monitoring the effectiveness of the management system. And then lastly, the objective is to increase the company knowledge of itself and its activity, thus increasing its ability to continually improve and minimize future potential liability. Department of Environmental Malaysia also requires the conduct of environmental risk assessment. These are to address specific environmental risks that have been identified either by way of communication from interest party or detected by DOE through its enforcement activity or as a result of the environmental compliance type audit. Next, I'm going to talk about the audit process. Usually, the audit process have three phases. The first one is pre-audit, the second one on-site audit, and the third one is post-audit. At the pre-audit, the management will select the auditor, review preliminary information and prepare the audit plan and checklist. The environmental audit shall be carried out by competent and independent third-party auditors. The organization also need to select auditors that have a depth of its experience that can match the need of the site and provide the right direction. In the process of selecting an auditor, the organization is therefore advised to request for the auditor's resume describing their relevant auditing and industry sector experience. An organization's international auditor are disallowed from conducting the compliance type audit for their own organization as an element of complete present itself. The second phase is on-site audit. In this phase, usually the organization will do opening meeting, conduct the audit at site, and closing meeting. The last phase is post-audit. In this phase, the auditor will prepare the audit report and implement corrective and preventive action. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Ashikin binti Yusri and I will be presenting the general rules of internal auditors and also their roles in performing the environmental audit. I will start with the roles of internal auditors. An internal auditor's position in an organization serves as essential for ensuring effective risk management, regulatory compliance, and overall improvement of internal control processes. And internal auditors' major functions and responsibilities are as follows. The first one, internal auditors will analyze and assess the risk exposure of the organization by identifying potential risks and weaknesses. They evaluate the operational processes, financial systems, and internal controls to identify risk areas and propose strategies for mitigation. They also monitor compliance to make sure that the organization follows with applicable laws, regulations, and internal policies. They evaluate policies and procedures, conduct audits in order to verify compliance, and if required, they will make a suggestion for corrective actions. Other than that, internal auditors will also evaluate the efficiency of internal controls and offer suggestion for improvement. They examine the design and implementation of control systems to verify that they protect assets, prevent fraud, and preserve financial reporting accuracy. Lastly, internal auditors play an important role in detecting and preventing fraud in an organization. They investigate suspicious activities and discover weaknesses in control that could lead to fraudulent behavior by analyzing the financial data. They also will advise on fraud prevention strategies and conduct the fraud risk assessment. The rules of internal auditors in conducting environmental audit are evaluating the environmental management system, which is EMS. If an EMS is in place, the internal auditor evaluates its performance in meeting environmental objectives and targets. These include assessing environmental management and performance rules, procedures, and records. They also will monitor compliance to ensure that the organization has adopted proper environment controls. Besides that, the internal auditor will give a suggestion in order to enhance the organization's environmental performance, processes, and controls. These proposals may include ideas for minimizing waste, preserving resources, implementing best practices, and increasing environmental awareness and training. Last but not least, the internal auditor examines the environmental management processes and controls to detect any gaps that may have an impact on environmental performance. They evaluate the effectiveness of waste management, pollution prevention, energy efficiency, and other environmental controls.
Assalamualaikum. I am Nofatin Shahira. I am going to present about the challenges of the internal audit. First is insufficient evidence documentations. As we know, sometimes it's hard for the internal audit to gather the documentation as it is done by the email, hard copy, or Dropbox. Therefore, it will create an incomplete data, wrong versions of document, perhaps the documentation may be missing. Second is a risk and a compliance alignment. Internal audit may overlap with the work of the risk and compliance teams, which can lead to the redundant work and misalignment on a crucial issue like a risk management. The issue of the disparate data sources is also one of the challenges of the internal audit. Third is a different system. Data collected by the multiple teams. So there is no standardizations. Therefore, the format will be incompatible and make auditors spend hours verify the data from the multiple sources. Next is how to overcome those challenges. First is checking the completeness and version itself. Furthermore, by do a clarification, it will ensure the data are completely safe. In addition, it requires linking the investment audit so it can improve the decision making and profitable goals. Second is open discussion with the risk and compliance teams to help everyone approach challenges and trade strategically. Beyond the collaboration effort, deploying a common control framework can prevent the disparate data problem. Last but not least is by providing an appropriate technology such as cloud-based tools that collect and analyze data from disparate sources have image. Furthermore, by having a strong support which all other departments have gathered to support, especially the IT team, it will ensuring that everything went smooth. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Zulaiha binti Kamal Zaman. I will present about the conclusion. According to the articles, the chairman's tenure of continuity had an impact on the environmental audit plans. This study found that environmental auditing practices would be successful if the chairman was familiar with and understood the guiding principles of adopting ISO standards from the outset. It could help the organization's management by clearly detailing the environmental auditing procedures. After reviewing the paperwork, the new chairman may understand the complete procedure. In today's highly regulated world, doing an environmental audit is no longer a choice, but rather a prudent precautions and proactive actions. Encouraging the systematic integration of environmental viewpoints into many parts of an organization's overall operations, environmental auditing has a valuable role to play, according to the research. This helps to raise a new awareness and new priorities in policies and practices. That's all from me. Thank you.
That's all from our group. Thank you.